Hey everyone, welcome back to the Pink Couch Podcast. Today we have another special guest, my bestie, my homie, my biggest hater, Bria K.
Hey,
Williams.
what's up, y'all?
Woo! So, this episode is called From Strangers to Sisters. So, let's get into it.
So corny. Sounds like a lifetime movie.
Bria, do you want to share a little bit about our friendship story, how we became friends, who
Yeah,
you are, like
who I am.
introduce yourself to the podcast?
Our friendship story. So basically, what happened was we were in this group chat on Patio. Y'all may not know what Patio is, but
Those who know.
yeah, it's basically like a group me, whatever. But it was like a whole bunch of group chats, and one of our friends, Carter was the one that made it, and it was
This was
called
before we came to Howard.
yeah, and it was called Bison Believers group chat, and basically honestly, I don't really know what happened after that. I know that we eventually started following each other on the socials. And I saw that she was weird, and I was like, I ain't trying to be friends with the girl.
Girl,
JK.
I told y'all my biggest hater right here on this couch.
She was weird. She was a little weirdo. No, but yeah, and that's all we were. We were just like mutuals for real. And I remember we planned like a brunch in Annex one Saturday with a couple of the girls that we also knew from the group chat. And I don't even think I really talked to you at that because there was a lot of people there. So I really didn't know this girl. I didn't know you at all. And then after that, it was just we would see each other, say hi and bye. It was really that was just it. Like we weren't friends. We were just like, oh hey, I know you from Instagram and I know that you are a Christian, but that was that. And then eventually, I started coming to Delight. You were a leader in Delight, and we kept saying, "Oh, like we need to catch up. We need to catch up." Da, da, da. That ain't never happened until the end of that semester, which was the fall of our sophomore year, and we got dinner at Blackburn. Talked. Music was too loud, of course. So then we left and we went to Douglas, and we were talking for like 3 hours ish until we got kicked out. Um, and then after that, we went outside, talked for some more, and then that was just that. Then we split ways, and ever since then, the rest is just history. Like after that, I feel like the only big thing I remember was during the 21 day of prayer and fasting, and we read through the book of John, and yeah, it was only up from there.
That night for sure, like that dinner, y'all, just hours and hours and hours. But like,
And it was really just me talking.
yeah, it was.
Which was different.
It was.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that? You want to talk about like friendships and how like you've learned to open up? Cause y'all, I'm friends with like all my friends are introverts for the most part. Like my closest friends are introverts. So how has that been like having to open up in friendships, and like what difference do you see in friendships in the world versus friendships in Christ?
Okay, the first question was how was it? Honestly, it wasn't necessarily hard to do because I feel like one, I already had that desire. Like of a close friendship like ours. But of course like I've had it's a process of like opening up, being vulnerable, things like that. But I feel like what made it easy for us is that like during that period of time, like we were able to like connect on so many things, like in terms of like our upbringings, and like even though probably weren't in like the same level of faith, but we had like a clear path, like a direction that we wanted to like go in, but also like we have common sense, things like that. But I also feel like it was just easy to do because of Jesus, because of the Lord. I think in past friendships, it was always like past worldly friendships, it was always some type of like wall in my heart. And I feel like it was because I didn't ever feel a sense of like safety and being seen and kept.
Mhm.
And I feel like with friendships in God, because like I have faith and trust that God, He will keep me safe and that He is my refuge.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay, if I know that you got Him inside of you, then you have the ability to keep me safe. That's deep. But I think that's why, even though it, like, the process of breaking out of your shell and opening up is a very daunting process, but I think it's easier with Jesus. um I think for me it started with Jesus. I think it
Well,
started with Jesus.
right. Right. Come on and testify.
um because that semester, the semester leading up to when we had dinner, that was the first semester after I actually started growing my relationship with the Lord, like actually like being committed to Jesus. And there's a lifelong process of sanctification, but just getting to know Him past the surface level, like, oh, I just want to build my relationship with the Lord, you know? So I think once I said yes completely, that whole semester, believe the Lord was preparing me for our friendship, because a lot of other friendships were changing a lot drastically. But in the midst of those changes, and also family drama was going on, in the midst of those things, I was still able to find peace with the situation. And not even peace in the fact that I have hope, but it was just peace that, like, my mind isn't really on this. Like, it's really on me getting to know Jesus, which is where it really started. Which is where the relationship started. It's like, in order for me to be friends with the Lord, like, I need to know who you are. Yeah. And it's just like you. Like, I needed to know who you were. Like, even though I was yapping that night, that didn't mean I fully trust you. I just needed to get something off my chest. You know what I'm saying? But I think the period of like praying and fasting and us getting to know each other, that is what really like pushed us into this trajectory of this great friendship that we have. And also just having that feeling that like this will this is what's the word, never ending. I think in past friendships or relationships, one, it was either always one-sided, or it was just like there's no level of closeness or intimacy in a way that I feel now with not just you, but really, like I said, it just starts with the Lord, like really with the Lord. It's like now I'm able to open up myself to people, but also allowing myself to be carried by people. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's so, I really love how you said like that it started with the Lord, because we've talked about this a lot, but the Lord had to prepare us for our friendship, and the Lord had to prepare us for our friendships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like the fact that like the Lord had to place us in seasons of whether that was isolation or whether that was pruning or growth to prepare for what we would encounter in our friendship.
Because Maya is the yapper. You are the yapper. So the
I
fact
am.
that I was talking,
Yeah, our very first.
you caught me
friendship.
at a very
But Bria yaps.
interesting
Bria
time.
is a yapper though, right? Bria is a yapper.
No.
Yes, you are. But I feel like our friendship opened up your yapping though.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
yeah, man, Bria K. I definitely like I think like my first impression, you were always like with other people when I first saw you.
That's true.
So I feel like my first impression of you, I didn't really get a good first impression because you were always like with other people. When you came to Delight, it's so funny because thinking back at it, like every time I would come and say hi to you at Delight, we were always kikiing about something. Like I don't even know what we were laughing about. We were always kikiing about something, and we were like, we need to hang out. And yeah, that like really, really solidified. Like when you were talking to me, I was like, whoa, like she's really opening up to me. Like, let me lock in.
Not let me laugh.
Like
No,
she's really
that
opening up to me.
semester in your life was really
Yeah,
busy. It was a lot.
yeah, that
Yeah.
semester was a lot.
Yeah.
I was starting like my RA stuff.
Mhm.
I was involved in a lot. That was my first semester of leadership, which was wild.
Mhm.
That's another thing. Me and Bria also lead and do ministry together with Delight. Um, but yeah, I think that, and I guess we can get into this next. I think that the difference for me between worldly friendships and godly friendships is that, how to say this in the best way possible. I've learned how to endure conflict and not run away from it, because I feel like friendships in the world, for me at least, when things went wrong, or like when I felt offended, or like things happened, like I either didn't talk about it, I ignored it
Mhm.
and just like sucked it up, or I cut them off. And not to say that like there are not, like there are godly friendships, or like there are friendships that you may have with Christians and believers that may not work out. Like
Yeah,
that
for
definitely
sure. Yeah.
happens. But my friendships now, it's like the way that we are like growing and the way that we like experience pruning through our friendship is nothing but the Lord. Like
Mhm.
is nothing but the Lord.
Yeah.
And so it's just so crazy because us like sitting on this couch, like we y'all like Bria was the first friend that I have like had a hard conversation with about our friendship. I like, and I will always forever like thank you for that too, because now like I've I have to have so many hard conversations. I know that so many hard conversations are coming up when
Mhm.
it comes to, you know, like being on a team with other people, being friends with other people, ministry, like pouring into people,
Mhm.
like family relationships.
Mhm.
And it's taught me to like not be afraid to have that hard conversation. But Bria was the first friend that I was like, hey, like I'm offended that you did that to me. I don't even remember what it was. I don't remember our first like conflict, but we've had so many moments in our friendship where it's like we either have like offended each other, or something happened, a situation happened where it was like, I didn't like that, or like stuff like that, and just like been vulnerable with each other. And I
Yeah.
think that has grown our friendship so much deeper.
Yeah.
But what has your experience been like with conflict in our friendship
Conflict.
and just like with friendships in general?
I think with me, I'm always the type to like try to like find a solution or figure out a solution to a problem. Um, which I feel like came with the the lack of emotion. I think dealing with conflict or any relationship, like emotions are very important. Um, some causes conflict, but the fact that like you feel things, like you are supposed to feel things, and I think before I really recommitted my life to Christ for real, I had a big issue with like dismissing my feelings and my emotions. So my mind was kind of straight. Like it goes into like a logical mode rather than like dealing with this emotionally. So I think with previous friendships or with some friendships now, or with just relationships with with any type of person, um, it was easy for me to like not necessarily confront, but like be okay with like talking about the hard thing. But I think because of our closeness, or not even just us, I think with me, the closer you get, the harder it is to talk about certain things. Because the closer you get, the more heart I'm pouring into this. And it's like, I don't want one, my heart to be rejected. I don't want it to be like broken, but I also don't want the other person to like feel these things too. But also like I don't want to bring up things that I may be tripping about. Um, so I think I've learned from our friendship, like when we had conflict or still having conflict, it's I realized that like that's a pattern that's in my head. Like, oh, like be afraid of this and da da da, basically feeding into lies. Or just looking at the other possibilities that may not happen. You know what I'm saying? So I think with our conversations and stuff, when we came into like these conflicts, you were the one to start conversations, which helped me because I'm like, okay, I'm not tripping. Like, okay, cool. Okay, cool. But also, like, when I was saying that it starts with Jesus, like, the Lord was opening my heart up, which means that I have been able to realize that I am human and sit with the fact that I have emotions and that our God has emotions too. And he's able to suffer with us and feel with us and be with us and give us what we need. And I think just knowing that and resting in that fact has just helped me come to you boldly about those things, and to know myself, like to get to know myself too within moments like that. But I definitely feel like the way that we have tackled, I feel like it was definitely a trial and error because we had to learn our different personalities, how we click, what would be receptive, what would not be helpful. Like, I can't come to you yelling and screaming all that, like, or even angry, not angry, but like showing that like I'm actually fed up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel like we just it was just a learning curve. It still is a learning.
I was about to say we're still learning.
We're still
navigating,
depending on the level of conflict. Things happen. But
Mm-hmm.
I think now, just thinking about recently, it's easy to talk about our feelings with each other.
Yeah.
Which was a hard thing for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that comes from like getting to know each other deeper, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But also like letting go of ourselves.
Oh, for sure.
If you're like, hey Lord, I feel like, I've been struggling with this, like I really just need to die to myself, get a friend.
Get a friend.
Get a friend. Like, bro, friendships will absolutely kill your flesh. And what I mean by that is you will, when you're like not connected, but you know what I'm saying, like when you're like connected with someone or like have a deep friendship with someone, like you will go through things that will like draw you closer to them, but it also will like teach you to let go of your own selfish desires, your own selfish needs, sinful nature.
Yes.
And I wanted to read Ephesians 4 verse 2, because I feel like this really relates to friendship and just like our relationship with God and how that like flows into friendship. It says, be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love. We're just gonna keep going. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all in all. There's so much to unpack in this. There's so much to unpack.
With my version KJV, it says, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, to keep unity of the Spirit.
Ooh, long suffering
in the bond of peace.
Jesus.
And going back to what you said, like you have to kill your flesh. Our flesh or our sinful desires, or even just our regular desires that are just not necessarily harmful to us, we sometimes in friendships or godly friendships, you will have to sacrifice those needs or those wants and those desires. And within those desires and those wants, or things that like just old mindsets that you knew of or that you had, and just different behaviors. Like I've learned with us that I needed to die to that. Oh, that orphan like spirit, like the orphan spirit in terms of like man, I can do this by myself. Like
Yeah.
I can do this. I can say this and do what I want. Da, 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 da. I don't have to care. You remember that time when I was like,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah. I used to say I don't care so much, but basically I cared a lot. I cared a lot. I would say that to mask how I was actually feeling. And I remember it was just this one period of time where the Lord really convicted my heart and was like, you need to stop saying you don't care. Because like one, you're lying to yourself, you're deceiving yourself, but you're also not allowing me to actually work in you and to grow in love, and also you're not allowing me to help you love other people. So I had to say no, like build that discipline, and practice long suffering, like practice the patience and all these things. But obviously, I couldn't do any of these things without the Lord. But like that was just like an example of things that I was just like, dang, Bria, like you gotta like lock in.